So many pigs flying over Cincinnati today, it could be raining bacon before the afternoon is over. Welcome to the Flying Pigskin Show. On the heels of yet another win, along with the lovely, talented, and vivacious Tanya O'Rourke, I'm Ken Broo.
I'm happy to be here again, subbing for the Keenan Singleton.
It gets a lot better with you in here. You know why?
I'm not sure about that.
No, I'll tell you why. At least the chair doesn't tip over.
That's true.
Keenan did a face plant.
But he's like 8 feet tall, so he's off kilter to begin with.
If he's 8 feet tall, then what am I?
Yeah, I know.
When
I stand, I'm pretty tall for a girl, and I stand between the two of them, I feel like a munchkin.
You're not that. How tall are you?
I'm 5'7". For a girl, that's actually above average.
Right,
so.
5'7".
Then you put on those heels.
Yeah, well,
I'm 6 feet tall in a hurry.
I'm 6'6" in heels.
All right.
Yeah.
You're 6'6".
You'd see me on the weekend. All right, if you're out and about, you want to know, how do I get this show? I want to see this show. I want to have this show part of my life. You get the app. You got to get the WCPO app. And all of the past shows are up 24/7, and we're on iTunes.
That's scary.
We are on iTunes, so it's amazing. We got a big show coming up. Jim Breach is going to join us. We're also going to be joined by Mr. Satin, who's live at the Taste of Belgium.
Is he really?
Yeah, and apparently he was out among
bringing us lunch?
He was out among the Vox Populi last night.
Ooh.
So that could be interesting. And then down the road, the Big Z from Cleveland is going to join us. Randy Z from WEWS in Cleveland.
Woos.
Woos.
Who's going,
we got some
wow.
news? You think we got some news? They got some woos. But before we go any further in this broadcast, I want to bring in the man who is still, to this day, the leading scorer in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals, old number 3, Jim Breach, who undoubtedly is ready to tell us that this is the best Bengals team ever. Jim, is this the best Bengals team ever?
Well, Ken, I don't know about that, but I did realize after Tanya talked about her height that I'm actually about average height for a woman, so I know how to take that. You know, what am I supposed to think?
You're above average in scoring, though. That's what's important.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So if this isn't...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if this isn't the best Bengals team ever, what team would be?
I really don't know. I have to think that it is. I mean, it's certainly an 8-0 start. The way they've done it, and really, if you look at the 4 previous seasons that's led up to this, this is by far the best stretch in the history of the franchise, on top of this phenomenal start.
I'm feeling that he is not fully convinced of the power of this Bengals team as other fans are. I'm wondering, do you think that the strength of schedule just says we're just playing, teams we should beat?
Well, now if you looked at the beginning of the season,
right.
They had the second hardest schedule coming into this year. Now, and the way it played out, it's played out the way it has, where now you've got it. It's turned into a much easier schedule than what people thought. This is a great team. You know, they're in all phases. The way they turned it around defensively last night was just amazing. I'm excited. No, I really do think this is probably the best team.
I thought one of the keys in they played a Cleveland team that's all banged up, and they didn't have hardly anyone on that team that you would even look at and say, hey, there's a great player. I think he's going to be
heck
terrific.
of a running back.
But I think the difference, Jim, I think the difference in this game last night was the Bengals ran the ball. They controlled the clock, and they just willed their way against the Browns. And I'm looking at the final stats here, rushing-wise. You got 152 yards on the ground, 72 from Bernard, 52 from Hill. Wow. This is a great sign going forward into the month of December and on into January, when you've got to be able to do that.
You really do. I kind of hold off too much on that because the Browns were last against the run in the league. But you're right. They're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to get Jeremy Hill going. It's going to be an important part. The offense on the running, the passing the ball is going phenomenally well. All the things they're doing offensively, they can win. Defensively, they're playing extremely well. There is as balanced a team as there is in the NFL right now. They're certainly one of the top 2 or 3 teams, and it just depends on how things fall each game. I mean, there's 4 or 5 plays in every game. So the one thing I notice is they have so much confidence. They come off, they have a sluggish game against Pittsburgh. They come out last night a little sluggish in the first half, second half just took the game over. He said, you know what, you shouldn't even be on the field with us. We're going to take this game over. We're going to put it away so your fans can go home early.
They do seem to make the right halftime adjustments, which I think is something I feel as a fan is relatively new for this Bengals team, and and really welcome. But I'm curious, do you think that they are the third or fourth best undefeated team, or are they? Where do you rank them amongst the unbeaten?
Well, I would put New England 1. You know, they I don't until somebody proves it differently. I think they're right there with Denver. Denver's offense got going last week, but I think the Bengals are probably as close to New England. I really would put them 2 or 2.5.
Yeah, I think Denver's defense obviously is lights out.
Amazing.
Denver ran for like 140, 150 yards last week on Green Bay, but Denver doesn't run the ball particularly well consistently. I think Jim's right. I think New England is just, with Brady, they just don't lose at home. But they've got a tough out coming up too here. They've got to go to Denver just like the Bengals do.
Yes,
I think Denver is going to be, I think, a real telling spot for both the Bengals and the Patriots coming up here. I do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that here are 7-0, and they got 2 other teams in the conference are also, or 8-0, and 2 other teams that are undefeated. So why can't it be the year where 1 or 2 losses for a couple of other teams? I mean, there's a chance that one of the 3 teams could go 14-2 or 13-3 and not have a bye that first weekend.
Well,
it's incredible, really. We talked about that in the newsroom earlier today. That, I mean, of all the years for the Bengals to be this good, as you said, Jim, couldn't everybody else stunk? Wouldn't it have been great?
Well, I guess apparently it's all the teams they're playing.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Jim, it's good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ken. Tanya, appreciate it.
All right, there you go, Jim Breach. Andy Dalton, you know, the lights come on, Andy Dalton wilts. You heard that all the time. The stage gets bigger, he gets smaller.
That's right. We can't say that anymore, can we?
Not last night. Now, again, this is a far different team than what Cleveland was a year ago. I think Cleveland was 7-4 is how they started the season a year ago. So this is a little bit different Cleveland team, but Dalton played awfully well last night. I think one of the things he does well, Tanya, you may see this too, he gets rid of the ball so quickly. And you know, and it just, look at that, 21 of 27. You can't do that if you're a five-step drop guy and try to throw the ball.
Do you know the play to me that was very telling about Andy Dalton last night was that second touchdown pass to Tyler Eifert? Remember that?
Yes.
He scrambled outside you know, obviously it was just, the play was breaking up.
Right.
And he still kept his composure, took his time, and then rifled that ball into Tyler Eifert. To me, that spoke volumes about who he is.
I thought he was throwing that to
Fisher.
Yeah, Fisher, the 74. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would.
But they were both there. I mean,
it was fine. But he was. We were watching. Fisher's cutting behind, and I think he's looking at him. He throws it, and then Eifert comes from the opposite direction.
Oh, here it is. Hold on a second.
So you can see him right here. Look at this picture.
Oh, wait a second.
What'd you do? What'd you do?
Just once.
Well, while he's getting it up.
There we go. There.
See, you can see.
He was looking at him, but
see, he's tracking the ball, and then Eifert cut in front of him. I don't think he knew where Eifert was when he threw that ball, but I still take it.
Yeah. By the way, the bottom line on that last super that we have up, I don't think there's any evidence that happens.
Well, I didn't see it. What
the bear crap in the woods?
There's a bear crap in the woods. Has anybody actually taken pictures to say whether or not that's true?
Well, but yeah, they can't hear the tree fall either, but we know it does.
By the way, we should introduce our folks in the back bench, led by Matt Lukin. Matt's left, screen left, is Brian Neese. To his right is Mike Strotman. And then to the far right is the beauty of the operation, Libby.
And the
Duber.
brains. Let's just be honest.
Well, I was trying to be kind to everyone back there. And she has Johnny Manziel's phone number, by the way.
Do you really?
Yes.
Do you want to have Johnny Manziel's number?
As does every other female in the Eastern Time Zone.
What did you think of him last night? Honestly, I know this is a Bengals show, but for a second or two, I thought, oh no, he's gonna get us. And
he showed enough last night. That touchdown pass he threw right before halftime.
That's when I was like,
running to his right and then throwing back across his body, which is a very difficult throw. But I'll say this: if they don't continue with him at quarterback, those people are as stupid as I think they are, because you got to figure out whether or not this is your guy, and if he's not, then you got to do something about it. But to go back to that, gasoline can, Josh McCown, and have him out there.
Not a McCown fan, are we?
Just so you can finish with 4 or 5 wins, to me, is beyond stupid. And all you're doing is placating an owner if you do something like that. I mean, the guy, that's McCown on the right. He was a gasoline can last year in Tampa. He's about as generic as an NFL quarterback is. If Manziel is your guy, then play the dude and figure out whether or not he's your guy.
My brother-in-law is a big Browns fan. and he, he texted me the whole show. And Manziel, though, it does not have the heart of the people, I just must say.
Well, but he's got the money of the owner.
Yes, he does.
So, I mean, you really got to figure out if that's the direction you're going to go in. Speaking of someone who has money and apparently an expense account, is our own Mr. Satin.
Here he does.
Now, you weren't here on Monday, were you?
Yes, I was.
Were you here?
Keenan was sleeping it off in Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, then he's bathed once again, and now is cleaned up so much he can actually go out among the proletariat. Where are you today, if anywhere, Mr. Satin?
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Where are you?
Hey, we're down here at the Taste of Belgium up here in Clifton. Big win last night. Trying to get some grub. Got the chicken and waffles going on.
I love their chicken and waffles.
Got a little Bloody Mary. Wake up a little bit. Delicious stuff down here.
Wow. Well, the chicken and waffle is very good there. Why did you choose Taste of Belgium, Mr. Satin?
I tell you what. Sometimes you got to get a little sweet with a little spicy, little grease.
Yeah.
We got some greens too. It gets real happy. It gets real happy right in here.
So Tanya would be the sweet. You'd be the spicy. Does that make me the grease?
No, you're the fire to put out the grease, right?
Yeah, no, I'm the fire. Satin, what's the buzz like there in Clifton about this big Bengals win?
I mean, we got a lot of people wearing New Day stuff around here. We got people just getting excited, eating a little lunch, getting a little. I got a little coffee there too. But I'm hearing a lot of orders going out for some Bloody Marys. I see them back there making them, so it's good. Hey, it's good to be in Cincinnati. It is good to be a Bengals fan. I've been calling it all season. We're halfway there to 16-0.
Now you've prepared some sort of video, I understand.
Oh yeah. So we were down there last night before the game. And, we wanted to see if Manziel was maybe hanging out, and seeing where people would take him out in Cincinnati and do a little damage. You know what I mean? Maybe some damage control.
Yes. So we've got Mr. Satin on the streets of Cincinnati before the game.
We've unleashed him.
Let's see what this looks like.
Hey, what's happening? This is Mr. Satin for the Flying Pigskin. We're down here on Cleveland night. We all know Johnny Manziel likes to party, so we want to know, where's he partying in Cincinnati?
I think he's going to be happy on the bus ride home.
All right.
Partying in Cleveland.
He's partying in Cleveland instead of Cincinnati.
Yep.
One night you're going to take him out. What are you going to do with him?
Take him to a strip club in Newport, the brass ass. Yeah, he won't make it out of there, by the way.
In Cincinnati, where would you take Manziel out to? What are you doing with him there? What's going on?
Probably put him with Tracy Jones and let him go to the brass ass.
I love it. Little night in Cincinnati, Manziel wants to party. What's happening?
We wouldn't want to take him to the strip bars because he might beat on the girls.
That's true. We don't want that. Where in Cincinnati would you take him out? Party a little bit.
Right over the Rhine.
Take him over the Rhine?
Yeah.
I was thinking something like that too. Maybe set up like 4 or 5 shots, lock him in the bathroom, leave.
Yeah.
Where in Cincinnati would you take him out to have a good time?
I wouldn't take him out anywhere. He doesn't need to be going out. I'd take him out. I love him, but he should not be a Brown.
One night with Manziel. Take him out. What would you guys do?
Well, first of all, I teach him some manners.
There we go. All right.
How to treat women, first of all.
Johnny Manziel, we're going to go hang out with them tonight in Cincinnati. What are we going to do? What are we going to go do? What kind of fun, what kind of trouble are we going to get into?
We're going to drive drunk, beat our girlfriends.
No, hold on. Cut that, cut.
We don't feel confident with Johnny.
Johnny Manziel, party boy. Now, you're not with Johnny Manziel right now. Is this correct, Mr. Satin?
No. We're here with the guy Davin right here. He's running the show down here.
How you guys doing?
Good. Your thoughts on the game last night?
I mean, I'm all for it. Who Day, 8-0. We're halfway there. It's going to be 16-0. We're gonna take it by storm.
Only way to do it.
Only way.
Well, Satin, you predicted 16-0.
He is. He's the guy who said it at the very beginning.
That's right. Not a lot of people out there, hating on it, whatever. But they didn't have the guts. They didn't have the guts to say 16-0. We did, though.
That's right. I mean, it's our year. We're going to do it.
That's right. I tell you what, there's a lot of delicious smells down here, man. Let's talk about the smells.
Okay. Well, what you're smelling first off is definitely our waffle. It's a Liège-style waffle. We get pearl sugar imported from Belgium. That caramelizes in that iron and gives that smell.
Let me just say,
like that.
The first thing you're smelling down there is Mr. Satin's jacket. That's what you're smelling.
Get in the jacket.
What, we walk into Findlay Market every once in a while, and Taste of Belgium's right there. Oh, it's delicious. And those chicken and waffles, I'm telling you guys, are the best at that.
Well, Satin, it looks like you're having a good time. You got the Bloody Mary, you got a guest, you got an expense account. Are you and your guest? Do you see any roadblocks between now and the end of the season? I know you don't. You don't, Satin. But what about your guest?
No, not at all. I mean, we're going to go all the way. 16-0. It's gonna be great. There's no roadblocks. We got this. It's our year. Andy Dalton's on fire. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Gentlemen, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you, Satin. And what's your guest's name? What's his name?
Davin.
Davin and Satin.
Nicely done, gentlemen.
Sounds like some sort of imported liqueur.
We'll be back to see you in a few minutes.
That's what they are.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Smooth as silk or satin. Either
all right.
one.
We do this thing called a 2-minute warning, which I know you were excited about.
I am very excited. Please, let's do this.
Will Johnny Manziel ever be the guy in Cleveland? Will he ever be what that franchise had in, say, Bernie Kosar or Mike Phipps?
I think they're going to try.
They have to, don't they?
I think they have to. I think you're absolutely correct about him. They're spending way too much money to have him on their roster and not give him a shot.
See, the problem with Cleveland is they had ownership change, and then they just go through these procession of general managers and coaches. They put the graphic up on the screen last night. Since Andy Dalton started for the Bengals, the Browns have had 9 different starting quarterbacks.
And I know a lot of people think that the Bengals could have imploded on themselves because they've all been the same team for so long with the same coaches and that type of thing, but it's helped them, I think.
Yeah.
You can see they like each other, at least for the most part. And they're all between the ages of like 22 and 28.
Right.
And they're in that sweet spot.
That's me. Oh, them, yes.
Yes. and I think that's the way you build a team. And poor Browns, they just can't get that together.
No, they can't.
I think these next 4 games for Manziel anyway are probably going to be the biggest of his career because he just played the Bengals. Then I think he has Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and then Cincinnati again.
Yeah.
So those are your teams that you're going against twice a year. How's he going to do?
That first half last night had me scared.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what Tanya.
It felt just like a whole lot of other games where they should have been, taking care of business, which they did in the second half, and that was a sign of a good team.
Right.
But for a while there, you're like, here it comes.
Yeah,
they're letting them hang around
But
too
he
long.
can't scramble like that his whole career. He's going to get killed. He's not big enough. He's not Russell. He's just not that big.
Right. I think that's a problem. I know Marvin Lewis made a big issue about his size last year and probably shouldn't have gone as far as he ddid, but he is undersized, and that's a problem trying to look over a 6'5" lineman. It really is. There was a couple of plays last night. We're sitting there watching it, and he it looks like he's sacked, and all of a sudden he's coming out from in between somebody's legs.
Well, it's because he's little.
Yeah. So
he's quick. I mean, but
the truth is, inside the pocket, he's not great. Outside the pocket, he's dangerous.
They were trying to keep him. That's their whole goal when they play defense on him is don't let him move.
We have our AFC North roundup here, and as you know,
no, we're gonna go to Randy, the Z-Man. Next.
Oh, I thought we were going to go to our roundup.
No.
Okay, well,
obviously you're not in charge here.
Let's go to Cleveland to WEWS. And standing by is one of the finest sports reporters in the northeastern part of this country.
That's right.
Randy, we're not sure how we pronounce your last name. How do we pronounce your last name, Randy?
Well, it's been butchered my whole life. It's Zemnik. It's a good, solid, sturdy Polish name.
Zemnik. I like that. And you work for, what does WEWS stand for, by the way?
You know what? I should know this. I do not know.
What does WCPO stand for?
Cincinnati Post.
There we go.
There we go. It used to be a script station. Anyway, Randy, that's our problem, not yours.
Yes.
I've said, and Tanya agrees with me, that if the Browns are really serious about figuring out how to become winners again, they got to play Manziel the rest of this season, because to go back to a gas bag like Josh McCown, who is like Mr. X. I mean, it's like Mr. Gen quarterback. Why don't they just play Manziel and just say, this is our guy, and we're going to find out for the rest of the season whether or not he's him?
The problem is, from Mike Pettine's perspective, is that Josh McCown has played very well. Granted, he's won one game. There are so many problems with this team right now that you can't point the finger at Josh McCown. But, I mean, to your point, you're 2-7 right now. You're going to lose with McCown, you're going to lose with Manziel, so might as well see what you have with Manziel. But from Pettine's standpoint, he's trying to stand by his guy. They've been consistent, and McCown's been the guy since he came in. But you're right. They've got to see what they have in Manziel.
I talked to Bud Shaw today from the Cleveland Plain Dealer.
Yes.
And Shaw's contention is, what the owner's got to do is go to the general manager and the coach and say, regardless of what happens the rest of this season, you're back next year. Don't play for your job, which I think maybe was going on with Pettin. He wants to play McCown because McCown's got a better chance of getting him wins because he's more seasoned quarterback. But if the owner goes to the general manager and the coach and say, look, you guys are back no matter what next year, maybe that gives them the entree they need to play Manziel. What do you think, Randy?
I don't think there's justification to guarantee their jobs for next year, quite frankly. From Ray Farmer, when Farmer got the job, the assets he had, cap space, first-round picks, what have they done with them? So I don't think there's a justification there to guarantee Ray Farmer his job. If Pettin, on the other hand, this team's biggest problem right now, let's face it, they don't have playmakers on either side of the football. So if Pettin is trying to do his best to win football games, and and again, Josh McCown has played fantastic. They haven't won games. So if you're Pettin, you're trying to save your job here. That's what it comes down to.
I have two questions. Does Josh McCown look a lot like Dolph Lundgren to you? And second, and maybe more importantly,
yes,
is what you saw last night what you kind of expected?
No, 100%. I mean, they had all the guys out. I mean, my goodness, at receiver, you had Marlon Moore, who is primarily a special teams guy, Dwayne Bowe, who hasn't been active for most of the season. Yeah, I mean, it's a short week. All these guys gone. They're playing so many young guys on defense. I know that's not an excuse, but yes, I mean, you pretty much saw they hung the first half. And I think the turning point of that game was that 4th and 2 where the offsides penalty was called. That was your turning point there for me.
Randy, let me go back to what you just said, that neither one of those guys, Farmer nor Pettin, have any reason to expect to come back next year or shouldn't have their jobs guaranteed for next year.
Sure.
Isn't that the crux of the problem, though? I mean, your team has gone through a parade of general managers and coaches. There's no consistency. And with no consistency comes no plan. So if I'm hearing you right, you're saying it doesn't matter whether or not they get this vote of confidence. These two guys can't get the job done.
I think getting back to the consistency, they just haven't had the right combination of a general manager or head coach. It hasn't so much been the consistency. They have not had the right people in that building. I think that's more of the issue. And quite frankly, you can turn an NFL franchise around quickly. I mean, it has been done. It can be done. But this comes back to, and I get where you guys in Cincinnati have been. I remember when, you've gone through your Shulas, your Koslets, your LeBeaus. I get it. I mean, I know, but it just doesn't seem like they've had the right personalities, the right folks in place. I just keep on getting back to with Ray Farmer, the assets they had. And what do they have to show for it? Johnny Manziel, Justin Gilbert, Danny Shelton. We don't know. And then Cam Irving, the tackle, hasn't been able to hit the field. So, I get it. I get you want continuity, but right now this team is 3-13 their last 16 games played. Wow.
I do like the Browns' pants. I did.
Oh my God.
Listen, I'm a fan.
I like the orange jerseys. I like them.
See?
Well, down here, there was so much grumbling about Marvin Lewis being retained year after year after year with no results.
Sure.
I just think what you guys need up there is you need somebody that comes in with a plan and the patience to execute the plan.
Yeah.
And if Manziel doesn't fit into the plan, then so be it. But I think you got to find out. You invested first-round pick and first-round money in this dude, and I hear what you're saying about McCown. But I mean, guys like him come and go, Randy. They really do.
The crazy thing, there's a diehard Bengals fan in this building, and I was just talking to him the other day. And I go, isn't it crazy that your expectation as a fan for the Bengals has gone from, okay, we'll just be average, to, okay, we're in the playoffs now. Now we got to win a game in the playoffs. My God, give me the playoffs. I'll take that. I don't care if we win or lose. My goodness, give me the playoffs at this point. But no, I get it.
Randy, thank you so much for joining us. We're guessing WEWS. There's something about news that's in there.
We were the first station actually in Ohio.
EW Scripps.
That's what it is. You're right.
You
it was named after EW. That's very good. He was named after EW Scripps.
Well, why didn't you have that answer when I asked the question?
Look, it's Friday. It's been a long week.
Randy, Randy, thank you.
Yes, thanks, guys. Anytime.
Thanks
for having me.
All right. Can we look at these standings now? Would that be okay?
Yes,
I'm anxious to look at these standings.
That would be okay.
There we go.
There
Look
you
at that.
go.
Woo!
Who's got 106 thumbs and still undefeated? What does that mean?
What is that?
53 players.
That's
53 players.
That's Libby's creativity.
Libby.
In action.
Oh, that's
See,
far
I told
too.
you she's the brains of this operation.
Far too cerebral for this group.
Yeah, you have to know that it's a 53-man roster, first of all, Ken.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
we're not
Bill
counting
Nye.
the coaches, apparently, right?
But look at this. This goes back to what I said on Monday. The AFC North race is over. There's no way the Steelers can catch them. There's no way the Ravens and the Browns are dead. So you're really playing just for the seeding right now.
Yeah, print the tickets. I mean,
Right,
come on.
exactly. So we got those, and we got games coming up inside the AFC this weekend worth watching. The Steelers play the Raiders. I think that'll be an interesting game to watch. And then we'll see where we go from there. But where we're going right now is to...
Oh, nothing good can happen here.
We're going now to the guy that brings some sort of, let's just put it this way, the cold water on the parade is here. It's time for the Real McCoy, and even today, I don't think the Real McCoys can say that Andy Dalton.
No, you
Dalton
cannot.
sucks.
Oh my God.
You gotta get it.
It's just not.
Hold up, sweetness. Hold up, sweetness. Hold on, baby. Hold up.
You just called me sweetness.
Yeah, sit back and take the chill pill and relax, recline a little bit, okay?
I could recline.
Yeah, recline a little bit, okay? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and take anything away from an 8-0 team, okay?
Oh, that's kind of you.
It's very hard to go 8-0 in the NFL, especially the Bengals been winning on the road. But the nuts and the bolts are about to come off the wheel. I'm telling you, right now, what the Bengals have to be concerned with is trying to situate themselves for the playoff. They don't want to travel on the road. They want to bye. They want to be at home. You cannot go through Denver or New England and get there where everybody's running around here in this Super Bowl mean gear.
Well, you can't go to New
Bengals
England.
attire.
You can't go to New England. They don't lose at home. You can't go to New England.
That's what I'm trying to say. But, you know, here's what's getting me. Act like you've been there. So I guess you people can't take that back. Not you people. Everybody that's wearing this Bengals gear and out here hooping and yelling. I know 8-0 is a good feeling, but it's like this. Nobody remembers any of this crap, and not unless you're a historian, if you don't win the big one.
But Michael,
go ahead.
We haven't been here before.
Sweetness is weighing in.
Yes, thank you. So that's sourness over there.
No.
So,
we have been here
we
before.
have not been
not
at
the
8-0.
8-0, but the Bengals have been to the Super Bowl before.
Oh my God,
Okay,
Mike, that's 27 years ago.
But you can remember that. You're old enough to remember that. A lot of people aren't. You know, your red hair is turning to be gray.
No, I don't get.
What?
But
he remembers the Kennedy administration. Okay, so we don't have to go that far.
The good thing is San Francisco is not going to make the playoffs this year, so that's
they're not. So
so we should be good there.
Here's the deal. The most overrated thing in sports is history, because the people that were involved in this team 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but they're not here. This is a team that is the happening now team. Okay. So you start going back 26 years, you can go back 5 years. It's not the same cast of characters.
Well, don't start ducking and dodging me.
Who?
Because you guys are going to have me up in HR because I'm going to harass the hell out of you.
You already called me sweetness. You're already headed there. Are you kidding me?
You said we can say anything on the internet,
Give
right?
me one reason.
Then you said that yourself. You the female, I'm going to listen to what you tell me. It's always smart to listen to what a woman tells you to do, and you do it, right?
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah, ask me one question.
Words to live by.
What would lead you to believe at 8-0? What would lead you to believe at 8-0 that there's a red flag anywhere? You say the nuts and bolts are coming off. Tell me why they should be coming off.
Andy Dalton is going to get hurt.
Why is he going to get hurt?
Is that
he
a threat?
is the type of quarterback.
Are you going to
No.
You going to pull a Galooly on him or something?
He gets happy feet. I already broke his neck last week. That was just the start of the.
We remember.
Okay.
It's hard to forget.
I haven't burnt the spider yet with the string and set it on fire.
Let's please not do that.
Well, okay. But the deal is, he gets happy feet and he runs around like a chicken with his head cuts off. And, you know, thankfully he hasn't made bad decisions yet. It's going to come when he gets hit and that pressure's on him. Come on, face it, Broo. You know this.
Well, I don't like
the
the fact that he's running a lot. Last night he ran 6 times, which I think was. I don't want to see that. He's a tough kid, but you're right. Look at what happened to Le'Veon Bell last week. You get hit the wrong way and you're finished. I agree with you on that. But if he stays in the pocket and he throws the ball with that line, nobody's going to touch the dude. What he needs to do on some of these things he takes off running on, just throw the ball away.
Okay, I agree with that. But he's not going to do it because right now, everybody's building him up. He's the leadership in the locker room. He's taking control. But as quiet as it's kept, Hall is speaking up more in the locker room than Dalton is. He's going to these guys and say, hey, look.
Who is?
Leon Hall?
Leon
How do
Hall.
you know? You're not there.
I got people that's in the locker room with cameras like Mike Stratman. He says he's in the locker room, but I got guys that are in the locker room
I never said that
that
about
are
Leon
telling
Hall.
me about the leadership that goes on in the
Real
locker
McCoy has
room.
operatives.
And Hall is like trying
right.
to say, hold it, guys, one game at a time. You know,
But look at that. I mean, come on, Mike. 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He'll throw for over 3,000 yards probably by week 12. Come on.
Okay, I wouldn't
That's
give a damn if he
look
threw
at
for
those
3,000 right about now. I'm just telling you, let's get to the playoffs and see. They're going to make it, okay? Right?
It's an MVP
My
season.
money is out there right now. They won't win a playoff game. And I had one guy that came in here. He had a Bengals cap on and a Bengals T-shirt. I think that was dressed up to him. And he followed me to the restroom. He knows I go there every day and brush my teeth. And I owed him $10. I printed that money last night. And he followed me to the John.
So now we know several things here. We know that
This
Mike
is
McCoy
TMI.
goes to the restroom, which is good for a man of your age.
To
Only
brush
once
his
is amazing.
teeth.
Right.
And then a guy that brushes his teeth while in the restroom and is stalked by somebody in Bengals gear. There was so much information in those
And guess who it was? Take a shot back there was Stratman. Act like you've been there.
I had to get my money.
Look at it. Act like
It's like
he bought
Vanity
me this
Smurf in there.
watch,
You should have
and
seen
he's
him.
talking about $10. He done paid $3,000 for a watch.
Oh my gosh. Can you just do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you just for 1 second agree that the Bengals are good, that they're better than you would like to admit, that they're going to go at least 9-0?
Oh, yeah.
Can you do any of those things for me? Any?
For you? Hell
9-0.
No way.
Yeah.
Now, if it was Broo, I would do it for him.
Ask him.
Next year sometime.
Okay.
Until this is over. Guys, believe me, I've been
When is this?
down
All right.
this road
enjoy it
before.
for
All right.
now.
So your contention, before we wrap this up, your contention is the reason why the Bengals are going to blow up here and why the bolt is coming off the nut is because Andy Dalton is going to get hurt.
And he sucks because, no, to be honest, all right, the games that they got coming up, other than this Houston game, which is a gimme, after the Houston game, there are no more gimmies because we're getting closer to December, January.
So
December. So it's getting closer to the time where any team that's up is going to do what they need to do to get over the hump. And I really, in my mind, I think if he doesn't run around the way he's doing now, he'll be fine. But if he continues to scramble and all this kind of crap, he's going to get hurt.
Mike, it's good to see you. Believe it or not.
Oh, so now you cutting the black sheep time short. That's fine with me. I can live with that. That's okay. Put it out here.
I didn't know that you were
the black sheep of the family.
Well, I didn't know you were an animal.
Now it's hard to figure.
Can you let go of my hand? That was just too much.
I want to hold your hand.
Mr. Satin, I believe, is back with us. Can we bring Satin in from Waffle Central? What do you got going there, Satin?
Hey, what's happening, guys? Just hanging out here, finishing up my waffles. Got all the goodies going down. Ran into a buddy of mine right here. This is Jacob. Jacob's got a question for you there, Ken.
Yes, Jacob.
So, between Giovanni Bernard and Jerry Hill, who do you think should be the #1 running back?
Jeremy Hill. Now, I'll tell you what.
Is that easy for you to say?
Yes, I mean the words came out flawlessly. I think that I think the reason why is because he's the kind of back that wears you down. He is not built the same way, obviously, as Jerome Bettis, but the comparison applies. He's somebody that can just wear you down. Now Bernard is terrific. He's fast, but he's not going to wear down a defense like that guy is, like Hill is.
You know what I like? I like the two of them together because that combination's fantastic.
Well, yeah.
Hit him, and then go ahead, Gio, and run it out.
But that wasn't the question.
Unstoppable.
The question was which of the two.
No, I like your answer.
Yeah, I would say that Hill going forward would be the guy, but you got to have the other guy. It's like Brooke. If you remember, you probably don't. You might be too young, but it's like when Brooks and Ickey Woods were on the team back in 1988. That's kind of like the combination they got going.
I like Gio in the fourth quarter, though.
I mean, I think what helps Gio out is having Hill being that up and down running back, so kind of opens up the offense a little bit for him.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Swing passes, it's the full package with both of them. Can't go wrong.
They're both dominant.
Right. So, Satin, it's good to see you out and about. Sometimes you're here, sometimes you're out. So, are you going to be out and about more often, like at various establishments around town?
You know, why not? I mean, you know, we love Cincinnati. We want to get the different flavors out there. So anytime I got the opportunity, look for Satin in your neighborhood, right?
Right. No, I mean, you could be breaking into a home this evening. So, yes, absolutely.
Or come on over to the Satin House. I don't know.
Lock your doors, lock your windows.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Have a good one.
They're having fun, Tanya. That's what it's all about. And they're having fun out among the Bengal fans.
Yes, they are. And there are Bengal fans now everywhere, minus Mike McCoy.
All right, let's do another 2-minute drill.
All right.
Now, we have several undefeated teams in the National Football League. Which undefeated team will lose on Sunday? Would it be the Panthers, the Patriots, or the Broncos?
I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, this one's kind of a gimme. The Packers, I think, are really one of the best teams on that board, other than maybe the Patriots, and they just lost last week. But I don't think the Panthers. I think the Panthers are pretenders.
Yeah, I think the Redskins get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah,
and I think the Broncos go to Indy. And honestly, although that's Manning going home and you got all that kind of rah-roo going on, the Colts stink. They're terrible. They really are. They're a bad football team.
Did you see that? There's an article on ESPN about the hundreds, if not thousands, of kids in Indiana named Peyton that play football.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, they got a picture of like 30 of them or something. But there's kids all over Indiana that are named Peyton and they play football, and they're all talking about this.
Isn't he? If he has 200 and something yards, I think he passes. Favre, right?
Yeah. But what's amazing is as bad as Indianapolis is, they're probably going to win that division.
Yeah, but that's it.
They're tied for the lead at 3-5.
But that's it. I think if you look at the other teams in that division, they're probably going to win. They could win that division with 7-9 record.
And look, I think that I love Peyton Manning. I love Peyton Manning, but I think
you love Peyton Manning.
I do.
Okay, good.
I went to the University of Tennessee. Come on.
I like him too.
Oh wow.
And the University of Cincinnati, but I went to Tennessee, and so Peyton is my guy. However, so I'll root for Peyton outside of the Bengals.
Who's a better quarterback, Brady or Manning?
Right now?
And who's going to be looked at as the best?
Oh, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah. Well, the rings always get you that.
I think
that's what gets you into the Hall of Fame.
I feel like
people remember. And if you don't, people don't remember Ken Anderson or all those kind of things.
Brady
I feel like Manning changed the game, kind of.
He did.
Yeah, but
what he did with his cadence and everything else.
It's a different legacy. The legacy is different.
All of that is true, but Brady played the majority of his games outside, and I think that's a huge difference for a quarterback. If I'm the Peyton Manning and I'm playing in that dome at least 8 times a year, I'm a far different quarterback than what I am if I'm playing outside in Foxborough.
Here's my thinking, though. I agree with you that Tom Brady is going to be looked back. They're going to look back and go, Tom Brady, look at all those rings, all that stuff. I think Peyton Manning, and again, I'm biased, I admit it wholeheartedly, is by far the most complete human.
Oh, yeah.
And
as a person?
Over Tom Brady.
Quarterback showman.
Because he's better at commercials?
Everything. He's just, he has not had the teams around him to support the talent that he has over the years, and Tom Brady has, and that's
Tom Brady's had Bill Belichick too.
That's right, exactly.
So how do you play that into it?
I would put Joe Montana top 3 all time. I think Montana compares favorably to Brady. I think he's more like Brady than he is to Peyton Manning. I don't know who you compare Peyton Manning to, because you're right, he changed, as a person, as a leader and all that. I mean, I think that's there, but as a quarterback, and I don't think he's Ken Anderson. I mean, Ken Anderson was a great quarterback and arguably the greatest player in the history of the Cincinnati Bengals franchise.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a Super Bowl ring. And he didn't have it largely because the Steelers were the definitive team of his era. Manning has a Super Bowl ring and won it despite not being on a team that was the definitive team in his era. So I hear what you're saying.
I think Manning's a legend. I think we will. Both of them are. Tom Brady. I think they're legends, and we will go down. I mean, 20 years from now, we'll still be talking about Peyton Manning and, of course, Tom Brady. But I just think that he's done so much with so little.
Right. He's a quarterback. This is interesting. This is a really great discussion. He's a quarterback, and I think Brady's a quarterback. And I look at a guy like Roethlisberger, and I say, he's an athlete. He's a football player.
Right.
He's not. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger is a great quarterback, but he wins. I don't necessarily know that Tom Brady is a great quarterback, but he wins. If you look at the prototypical quarterback, and you had no idea of who Tom Brady was or what he did, you'd look at him and you say, huh? And I think Andy Dalton is kind of like that too. If you look at the prototypical quarterback and you look at Dalton, you say, well, he's not real tall.
Yeah.
He's not real fast, but he gets the job done.
I just look at how good Brett Favre was in history and all that, and when you're looking now, Manning's about to pass him, and then there's Brady, and it's like you kind of almost forget about Favre, and you don't forget about him, but Favre, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're that good.
Yeah. The thing about Brady that I think is great, Tanya, is that it doesn't matter who his wide receivers are, and
You're
they
right.
changed.
And tight ends.
He won.
That's the cast of characters changes constantly.
Yes.
In New England, yet you're right. He does find a way. So I do think that he's the better quarterback overall. I think the rings, vet that.
Yes.
But there's something about Peyton Manning that, as a quarterback, as a leader, as just a brilliant. I mean, he's so smart about the plot. He can look at a field general. He can see everything, and he knows what to do. And I just think he's just absolutely a brilliant football mind.
I agree.
I could see him on the sidelines. I really could.
And the chicks dig him.
And chicks dig him.
And can you imagine Andy Dalton? Can you imagine Andy Dalton taking both of these guys down?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You know what?
That'd be funny.
I know we got to go, but we're going to find out whether or not Andy Dalton is like that soon, because he's going to lose Sanu. He could lose Jones. This team is going to change remarkably after the season because of all the expiring contracts. Then we'll see if you can start to say that he's going down the same road as Tom Brady or Peyton.
A lot of the time, I think one of the reasons Andy Dalton is so good is because of Hugh Jackson. I mean, I think Hugh Jackson Hugh Jackson creates a plan that suits Dalton's and the team's strengths. He doesn't make him put him in situations where he has to do things that he's not as good at.
Could you see Hugh Jackson going to the Browns?
I could see him going to
Indianapolis.
half dozen places.
I think so.
I'd say, please, Hugh, stay put for just a little while longer.
We got to thank the people at Furniture Fair for those.
Because this is lovely. It wears. We've had this for a year. It's still like new. Thank you, Furniture Fair.
Yes.
Again, get the WCPO app. Tell your friends about us. And we're back on Monday at 1 o'clock and only on the definitive website ever, WCPO.com. It's the Flying Pigskin. Pigs fly every Monday at 1.